Batman Arkham City is one of the best games of all time. I like it, you like it, Big Smoke from GTA likes it, everybody likes Arkham City. But here recently, I decided to pick up the base version of the game to see if it holds up in 2026, and if just the base raw Arkham City without any DLCs is worth buying these days. Stick around as my answer may surprise you. Now, some notes before I dive bomb into my review. For one, I did grab the Batman Incorporated DLC because it's free, and you can still download free DLCs from the 360 store if you have the game installed or the disc in the console. So I know I did technically grab a DLC, but I read you can also unlock it with a cheat code, so it's technically part of the raw Arkham City experience, and a single skin didn't really impact gameplay. And also, after beating this game countless times on my old 360, Steam, and the remaster, I finally decided to play this game on the hard difficulty for the first time. That out of the way, I want to start my vid by saying that Arkham City looks amazing graphically, easily one of the top 10 best looking games on the 360. The character models look beyond amazing, with a ton of small details everywhere, and it is really impressive what Rocksteady, the devs, were able to pull off on such limited hardware compared to today. And this game looks better than a lot of modern titles, if I'm being honest. It is just a very impressive video game, presentation-wise. Also, the legendary Arkham City soundtrack is, well, legendary, with many great songs present. The voice actors were all very well chosen and casted, be it the main VAs, side characters, or even just random unnamed NPCs. All of the voice actors did a stellar job with their roles. Shifting gears, I want to cover this game's open world and side content, in which this game was a huge step up from Arkham Asylum, the game before this. In the first game, you have the Asylum to explore, the main story, and Riddler challenges. There's not much more than this. Arkham City kept the Riddler and his challenges, being having you scan items to solve riddles, or having to hunt down Riddler trophies and saving hostages from him. But the devs didn't stop here. This game has a very fairly sized open world, with lots of stuff to do and cool places to visit. There are more quick and simple side missions, like dealing with Mad Hatter or saving Mr. Freeze's wife, which you can knock out in 15 minutes. But you also had much more beefed up side missions, like hunting down Deadshot or saving political prisoners who are being attacked by Arkham City inmates. And I feel like the open world is just right in size. It doesn't feel overwhelming, it feels just right to me. Like in some open world games, I just feel really overwhelmed and just like, oh my goodness, this is huge. But in this game, the world feels neither too small or too large if you ask me. But enough with the side content. What about the main story? Well, it did feel a little odd without the Catwoman DLC pack, as, for those who don't know, her DLC missions work right alongside the main Batman quest, versus in a lot of games where DLCs are off to the side doing their own thing, here it's a bit more of a necessity, and I'm not really sure how to feel about this. On the one hand, I do understand making Catwoman optional, as her quests can be a little irritating, and she moves around the city much slower than Batman, thanks to him being able to glide. On the other hand, you really need the Catwoman DLC to experience the full story. For example, spoiler alert, when Catwoman saves Batman from fallen debris, she just pops out of nowhere without the DLC. But with the DLC, you learn how much Batman really meant to her, and how she knew that he was in trouble. And again, without the DLC, she kinda just materializes. And it doesn't help that places such as Ivy's lair, which only Catwoman can access, are still in the game, along with Catwoman Catwoman-only Riddler trophies. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a company push a DLC pack as hard as I saw Rocksteady and or Warner Bros. Push the Catwoman pack here. They're just like, buy it, buy it! And you get a pop-up in your face every time you boot up the game telling you to purchase it. Now, to be fair, the game said that there is supposed to be a one-time use download code in the game box, but mine didn't come with that. I'm assuming the previous owner pulled it out and used it. But imagine if somebody got a defective code or a factory error where they simply didn't get a code. Or imagine if some kid without Wi-Fi bought this game, and Warner Bros. Just dangled Catwoman in that super hot one piece in front of him. Like, hey, we know that you bought this, but you can't access the full game because you don't have internet. Sucks to be you. And I had an Xbox 360 buddy in middle school who didn't have Wi-Fi, so this probably did happen. Now, I know that this was used to discourage people from buying the game secondhand, but just the way that Catwoman was handled honestly feels really greasy with how she's just being constantly flaunted in your face. Thankfully, the Game of the Year edition does contain her DLC pack on disc, but if it wasn't for that, it would be unobtainable on the 360 with the storefront closed. Okay, I just spent 4 pages steaming about a DLC pack. The story to this game is amazing, and while it doesn't hit like it did the first time I played it, this game does have a great story. Although I'm a little bummed that Paul Dini's idea of Harley Quinn having a baby was pulled from the sequel. That would have been very interesting. Anyways, the story is pretty fair in length, being maybe 8-ish hours if you focus only on the main quest. And these main quests have a fair balance of hand-to-hand fighting and stealth predator encounters. Now, I expected that I would struggle with the predator encounters a lot more than I actually did, since I've never been great at them on normal difficulty, but I ended up handling them just fine. In fact, for example, I had never managed to finish the predator encounter before Batman confronts Hugo Strange without being detected even once, and I pulled it off on hard, not counting one dude who I let see me after I jammed his gun. But really, it turned out to be open combat where I struggled more, because I was used to the normal enemy movement speed, and the quicker pace did take a bit of adjusting to. Now, for a breakdown of these two gameplay types, in Predator, you take on enemies who are armed with guns, and sometimes landmines and jammers, which affects your heat-seeking cal. The idea here is to quietly knock out baddies, and you do this in a variety of ways. You can set up enemy landmines to remotely knock them out, or you can sneak up behind foes and choke them until they fall asleep. Or you can pull enemies off of ledges and leave them hanging from a rope tied to their leg. The choice is yours, and you can get pretty creative with it. Now for open combat. The Arkham series has a really smooth, free-flowing combat system that consists of blocking and punching, with the ability to throw in special moves after you get a decent combo going. And you can use Batman's gadgets to help you out, and the hand-to-hand fighting is really fun in my opinion. And of course, this game has several amazing boss fights, like taking on Solomon Grundy or Clayface, along with many other villains from Batman's Rogue Gallery. Now, of course, you earn XP for winning fights and for solving Riddler challenges, and with every level up, you get one unlocked token, which you can use to buy an upgrade, like extra health or a new Batarang type. Also, this game has a new Game Plus mode, unlocked by beating the game on normal difficulty or higher, in which enemies are tougher than usual, and you don't have a warning for when they're about to strike in combat. But the fun doesn't stop with just the main game mode, as this title also offers side challenge modes, being combat and predator challenges. In the combat challenges, you fight waves of enemies while earning points by taking out baddies in various ways, utilizing gadgets and getting a high combo. For the Predator challenges, you're placed in a room with armed bad guys, and you have to eliminate them as quickly as possible, while also having tasks to perform, like doing one knockout smash move or taking out a specific enemy first. And I must say that these challenges really did help add in some extra content to the game, and you can play them with any character skin that you own. Wrapping things up, you unlock character trophies and concept art as you progress, which is cool to look at, and this game runs fine performance-wise. All things said, does the base Arkham City hold up? Yes and no. It holds up in that Arkham City is a great game, and if you have the Catwoman DLC, which is included in the remaster and the Game of the Year edition, you are forced to play as her in the main story if you want to progress. So if somebody really dislikes playing as Selina Kyle, that person might be better off just getting the base game to bypass her sections. But obviously, the game doesn't hold up in that there are two technically better versions of this game available, especially when you consider that many achievements require DLCs, meaning you cannot 100% this game achievement-wise without downloadable content. But still, base Arkham City is an amazing game that earns a 9.5 out of 10 by my grade scale, and it is one of the best games ever in my opinion. As for similar games that I could recommend, I would say Shadow of Mordor, or maybe even Batman Begins, although that's closer to Arkham Asylum than Arkham City, but you still might like it, and it is playable on Xbox 360 consoles. Well, that is my vid for today. Thanks for sticking around and for listening to my bad voice. It means a lot. For those who are new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, so feel free to sub if that sounds interesting. And follow me on GameRam for hints at upcoming vids and behind the scenes stuff. As for our Bible verse of the day, I read Romans 13:10 NIV. Love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. And like always, none of my content is made by robots. Keep YouTube human and only support man-made vids. And I never give consent for my voice and likeness to be copied and altered by robots in any way. God bless, take care, keep the 360 alive, peace. The character models look